Right, but
Okay, now we're recording.
So, geez, to make a motion that I'll entertain a motion to hire the deputy dog. H is a motion for lateral restriction on Stage Road. I is a lateral restriction on Swift Mills Road. That's boilerplate, nothing new and exciting. J is a resolution that we just got. I just got it this weekend, Friday. Or, yeah, Friday. From Akron Fire Company wanting to utilize the wooded area at Skyline Park for drill. And Emily has drawn up the same resolution and the same agreement that we had with Newstead to hold us harmless for if anything happens. We'll just have to add that to the agenda if that's okay with anybody.
The only question I had about that, Dave, is fall soccer still going on? Are they gonna have to work around fall soccer or should we check into that?
they weren't checking.
Cause they want to do it on Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's like a very good question, Ron, and I did not check that out.
That's Sunday.
I
What's that?
thought it was the 25th.
Is it on
I
Sunday?
think that's Sunday.
Okay, then we would be good.
But they do have Little League Soccer right now. I think they have 4 weeks of the little kids
Mhm.
on Sunday. But
Yeah, as long as it's Sunday, then it won't matter. Okay,
So here's a resolution to approve it. If someone wants to read that, we'll add it as J.
Yeah.
Okay, under new business, we'll go back to the two resolutions that we did not. One is C, approve entering into a buy board cooperative purchasing agreement. I think we've got that all settled.
Unless anybody has any questions.
Right.
What's buy board?
It's another way of purchasing. Go ahead, Mike, you can probably, because you,
what it does is,
Come up with it.
you know, right now the OGS stores will, they go ahead. And if you want a certain piece of equipment, they already have had it bid out. They will give you a figure.
Yeah.
On what the dealer is gonna pay for it.
Yeah. Whereas the buy board is another avenue to get the same item,
Correct,
maybe at a different price than this outfit we just mentioned is giving.
correct.
It may be higher, it may be lower, or
Well, what I do is, on 2 of the other tractors I've been looking into, I have their quote on the OGS. But the big thing is, New Holland, I'll tell you right now, they said 10 or 12 to 14 months before you might take delivery. John Deere wouldn't even tell me. Massey has a couple in stock now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So does anybody want to read C to enter into, be able to utilize the buy board cooperative purchasing?
I'll read it. And, you know, I can't find E. Usually, split A, B, C, D, and E. Do you have the packet? Are you packets got those letters? I get A.
I have E, I can do it.
Well,
I have
it starts with B. You got a packet that starts with B?
I must have one that starts with B.
There's one.
Here's E, but
The marked as E.
I have E.
I started at A and everything's blank.
You got it. There should be 2 pages.
Now there's
another
There's a whole different
C.
J. That's the one we just got handed.
Starts with B.
Maybe
You wanna
they-
take mine through F, looks complete.
Here you go.
I got it. B.
We got it.
And it continues from there to
Yes.
B.
Okay.
All right.
Through F.
Do that. So C, Doc, you're gonna do,
Yeah, I'll do-
then D is a resolution to purchase the Massey mower. Mike, you want to talk about that at all? Or does anybody have any questions of Mike?
Did you get any quotes from anywhere else?
Yes, I got a quote from New Holland down in, Wright's Corner down there in New Fane. That would be out of New Holland. They were right around 140, 139 and change. And then, John Deere was right around the same thing at 139 and change. But both of them, the delivery time is God only knows when.
And how much was this one?
If we're just ordering the tractor. This one shows,
126?
no, the tractor alone was,
76.
76, 256. And then the mowers, you won't see the mowers until March or April.
But we should order them at the same time.
So the total price, the total was 126, 70 and 23 cents. Hopefully, if we act on it, hopefully that they will keep the price the same because it's been, more than 30 days, yeah, 8:30. The date proposed was 8.
Okay.
8:18, so hopefully,
And anybody want to read D? Did I hear anybody? 15.
I think there's best comment.
I guess I will.
Patty?
Sure.
Okay.
do you want this piece here with the price?
I think we've gone through the resolution. It's just one thing. Emily, can you mark up A for? or you already did. You already did that? John didn't want to sit here until 10 o'clock reading. Okay, so we're moving on to work session. Planning, drainage. Nothing new, amendment to the chapter. We're gonna go to public hearing. Water sewer.
The culvert, one of them has started to be addressed, repaired, or whatever you want to call it.
Coming up to, that's what we're gonna talk about now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Another question
water.
on drainage on Kriegel Road. When you went there, was it Scott or Mike? Was there gonna be any ditching over that way?
Earl Schultz's property?
And that, well, that area, I don't know if it was just his or not, or the whole area, because I think one affects the other, from what I understand.
Right now, I'm tied up with the Forestville property, which we're basically done. We can't do no more. I had to re-permit for Main Road, north and south.
I wasn't there, but I was under the impression from this person, and wasn't Mr. Schultz. That there was something that was gonna be addressed to help ease the situation over there this year. So I don't know if that was you, Mike, or Scott and Dave. Did you get over there, Scott? So it must have been, you went over there, right, Dave?
Yeah.
And they were just asking if it's gonna be addressed this year.
We're gonna look into it. I'm not,
I know it needs it.
is there a portion of it we can do?
We had, about 3-4 years ago, we did do from Kriegel Road to come around the back to where we could get through. That was done. But, then there's a little part more that comes from Mr. Sutton's house, where there's new owners. We just, there's just so much to do.
So are you saying we can't do it?
I'm running out of time. I'm gonna say no.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Yes or no? So we can tell these people it's not gonna get done this year. Then we can put it on the list at the beginning for next year. Can we say that also?
Was it put early on this year's list?
I have no idea.
As a-
No.
Okay.
Okay. Water sewer, you wanna, go ahead, Scott.
So water, we were told that they were gonna start today. They're not there, but they did tell us. We did hear back from them on Thursday that they would not be here till the 19th. At this point, we've signed the change order. We did explicitly tell them that that substantial complete date isn't changing.
Right.
So, you know,
We still expect it to be done in October.
yes,
Ish.
so
October-ish is by the 31st.
they have till the 18th of November. That's substantial. So we will keep on them. We will send them another email, probably tomorrow to see where things are. I do want to thank Mike for being out there. We have been working on the homeowner services. Dave and Mike have been working hard on that. We got one more that's going in. Mike was out there today to help them out.
Miles,
Yes,
that's the
so,
last one before the line.
Right.
so I think we're doing well on that part. That's all. We control what we can control. So that's what we'll do.
And the culvert grants, there's a few that we're gonna look at. Last one,
I gotta get out and look at them again. I know I talked with Scott, and there wasn't anything crucial, but he did, mention a couple to take a look at. But nothing is where it's gonna fall in or,
No, but again, there's things too, that if we want to go out for grants next year, or something like that, that's something for us to start thinking about now.
well, we should show that we're making an attempt. At redoing some of these, if we want to go for another grant next year.
Yes. So, Mike, we can keep talking about it. I know your guys are gonna do some work coming up, so, give me a call and we'll work on that.
Any other questions?
if you would, maybe just give me a list of,
Sure.
the ones you feel do need.
Yeah, I think I can resend that.
Yep.
Highway, anything, Mike?
No, tomorrow we're going to, Michael pave, Fall Road and North Airs. And that should be the last of the projects for this year. Still gonna push on field ditching and mowing. And
Was there anything going on with the bike path? Or was it paving a small section of that?
no, it was what we've come up with. With Dave, hopefully, we can get from Pink Road to Clarence Center. That measures 2,500 feet.
Yeah. You mentioned
And
that.
then hopefully, I got 2 spots gotta be dug out with the roots are bothering. Dig them out and then hopefully, I can get help from the neighboring town.
That would be before December, they would be able to get
Oh,
it.
it's gotta be done by no later than in September, because sometime in October, we start making hot stuff.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
End of September is what? The Ides of March are coming up.
Okay, buildings, library. Anything?
Yeah, they found a couple small leaks. I gotta get up and check it out.
It really came down hard today, at least up where I live.
Yeah, but it's an east rain, so it tells me it's really not the roof.
Every piece of data helps.
I'm just hoping something has to be caulked somewhere on the wall.
Oh, boy.
Well, that'd be easy. Replacing a roof is gonna be, oh boy.
Yeah, it's the east wall, right?
Yeah, so only, it seems that all the rains we've had all year, we had some good ones. We don't leaked at all, but this last weekend, was it Monday? I don't even, whenever it rained last. It was out of the east. So. Okay. Get up there and scope it out.
Okay. Grants, trailways. Nothing. I sent an email. There's nothing on trailways. Parks, I sent an email out today to Tremaine and after I talked with you, Carl, Tremaine and Ed Rath to find out who helped me, because it's been 6.5 years.
Yeah.
I went back and looked, 6.5 years to wait for that grant. And
Criminal.
maybe another year, we'll have it done.
It's
Okay.
CDBG,
Community Development Block Grant,
the question was, is that still alive? I know the village of Akron is riding hard on it. Is there a sidewalk that's going to be put from Buell down to the town hall? And Clemson Road?
I will, after today's meeting, send another email like I did after our last meeting to find out what the status is.
Fine.
I've got to get a reply from them.
All right.
So, um,
Enough said, move on.
the reason it's on there is because we are gonna set a public hearing and we need to look at what we want, if we want to submit for a grant
For next year.
for next
Got
year.
it.
Which I talked, I think I've mentioned, I talked to Paul DiOrlando that, the senior van that Sarah has gotten 30,000 from the Rebecca Foundation and I believe 20 or 25. The legislator to come up with the rest, he said that would qualify.
That would follow.
Doesn't mean we're gonna get it.
No,
But it will
understand.
qualify, which is good.
You get your foot in the door.
So that'll be one that I'll, at that public hearing that I'll mention, but we'll see what happens on that. We're sort of caught in the town because we don't have in the town a lot of low income areas designated by the county. You know, we can all look at certain roads and say, what do you mean? But the county doesn't have a specific area that, like they do in the village, you know, they have low income. They can do more in the village than we can in town. So. Okay, under other gas well, I have nothing new. Hopefully I will ask, do we have a joint meeting this week,
This week.
Thursday, maybe, if you can make it? If not, you don't let me know later, not right now. Then I can ask John then. Bicentennial Committee. Town Park event. The committee has asked me if the board is willing to have an event at Veterans Park. Music event, where we have a big stage, all kinds of people, food trucks, etc. They're looking at the Nerds Gone Wild, or Nerds, whatever, I guess. That's right.
What did you say? They're gone wild?
Nerds Gone Wild. It's a musical group that everybody goes to see. It's got you, Doc.
In other words, that's the main attraction.
Yeah. Dawn, do you want to go any more detail than that?
Yeah, see, before we got too far into the whole thing, we just sort of wanted to make sure that the board would be receptive to something like that and, you know, look into what we would be looking at liability wise, insurance wise, for an event like that.
What's the expense that accrues to the town?
It all comes through the Bicentennial Committee,
Okay.
so yeah, we would be looking for sponsorships for the event and stuff. like that.
Something like that would be $80,000 range.
Well, you know, we plan on putting up a tent up there, which is gonna suffice for events the whole week up
Oh.
there. So there'd be the expense of a tent, there'd be the expense of the band. The band is about $2,500.
Yeah.
We are hoping that by bringing food trucks in and like possibly like a wine truck, a beer truck, that we don't have to worry about food. You know, we let them
Right.
come in and take care of that end of things. It's more a manpower and a traffic concern and parking and things like that.
Does that rope line fence that they used for the fort have to be put around to Veterans Park?
Yes,
That'll be determined on how they
How
lay
is
it,
that,
how they lay
and
it
it
out.
goes through the Bicentennial Committee?
Yeah, because they'll set it up, yeah, but we're not gonna let anybody run rampant through it.
yeah.
Okay, is anybody opposed to that? Can we give a verbal okay? We don't have to vote on it, but to let them go ahead and,
Why wouldn't we do it? I mean, it's commemorating our own town. And then the town board votes, nay, we don't want.
Okay.
everybody good?
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing on the centennial is way back in July, I sent letters out to all the political beings from the president on down to the mayor. Governor, senators, New York State, asking them for a congratulatory letter, even in Newstead Abbey in England. I got one back from Newstead Abbey
In England,
in England, and I got one back from, I got two others back. I've started a week and a half ago. I sent email out to everybody. It's really difficult getting hold of our senators, Gillibrand and all that. I mean, you get a message and then you type in and they go, thank you for, we'll get back to you, and they never get back to you. So I reached out to some old people in that particular party that hopefully has phone numbers that we can get to. And I've been told they got people that they know in both senators' offices, so we can get them. 25 years ago when we did this, there was no problem. We got them all back within a week and a half, all the way from the president, Bill Clinton, on the way down. I'm not sure whether they got thrown aside, but I would like to get as many of them as possible to put in the booklet for. And they're diligently working. I know the committee has ran through quite a few different arrays of functions of what they want to do, et cetera. And there's been a lot of hard work, and this lady especially put into it, getting the meetings together, et cetera. So we'll keep going forward on that. 23 budget just coming down the road, as we know, September 26th, the next meeting, you will have a tentative budget for you. We are a little bit behind on putting our numbers together. Tina just got us the final roll, I believe, today. So there was some glitches there that they've gotten all squared away, hopefully. But yeah. It's interesting. You yeah. Surplus property status, Mike.
Oxford International came out Thursday, took pictures of all the stuff we're gonna put on. So as soon as I hear back from him on the date, he's gonna put it on. We'll be on for a couple of weeks. And then we'll close it out and we'll see if you want to accept the bids.
Okay. Oh, good, that's rolling. Dog control, we discussed already. Library board position. As I believe everybody's received the resignation from Bob Keat, and also the Christine Sutton's recommendation for someone to fill in his spot. I just didn't know before we put it on the agenda if the board wants to.
should that be
Advertise it.
for Bugle?
That's what I'm asking, if you want to do that or not.
It would solve the problem the same, already decided before. Is
I
a
agree.
couple $100 or something.
The dual? God, I would
In
hope.
the acronym. I can do it for a couple.
Yeah, that's-
My point is, it isn't that expensive,
No.
and it covers the bases that people read the Bugle are publicly aware that there's a position open. That's fine. I'm in favor of public.
So I'll add to the agenda, advertise for a library position. Vacancy.
Due to recent resignation.
At least she has someone in mind already.
Right,
Sure.
which is good. And once again, it's not a position that we get
Climbing out of the walls.
people coming off the walls, but they do a good job. They do a great job. Okay, so I'll add that. Electric charging stations, that's just on there because we are gonna go public hearings and see what people. Training. Anything?
Employee training,
Yes.
we still have a handful of the paid employees that have not done their training yet. But I am trying to get them to cooperate as quickly as possible. Emily and I went through it and she said, really, the volunteers, we can't force to take the training, but if they're paid employees, they should. We have about a half of our zoning board, half of our planning board, and a few other smattering of employees that have not done it yet.
Since they're remunerated, then they're required.
So we're gonna have to, maybe another month or so, make a tough decision
Yeah,
on what we're going to do. I mean, it's a matter of a couple hours, to get online.
By December 31st.
Okay, anything else under work session? Oh, got 15 minutes. I will tell you, because I think we've got a few people out there probably before it filled. The country concert this last weekend. No one, first of all the permits are in place. I checked with Dave Miller, we saw them beforehand. I was at the concert, other people that are in this room were at the concert for different lengths of time. But it wasn't bad, we didn't really get a complaint about the concert, but at about 10:45, they had fireworks. And that upset quite a few people out there, because A, they didn't know about it. B, you know, they're excited and their animals and all that. And they were worried about their mobile homes burning, but it was across the Wargle's property across the street on Havens. John Wargle owns all the way up to Main Road on Havens.
then the east of that is the right of way for the power line.
So in there is where they had the fireworks. So you are gonna hear some of that, some complaints that they didn't know, and they have, that's a legitimate complaint. I feel that in the future that they should have notified everybody. I know I live on Clarence Center Road, and we get notification. Next weekend, you're gonna have fireworks Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
How are you notified?
By a little thing in the mail from our mailbox.
US mail, sends it. At Lewis
They
James.
put them in the mailbox. Not legal, but they put them in the mailbox. But Mr. Northern said he did mail out to 200 different addresses up in that area about the concerts and what he's trying to do, etc. Somehow they just forgot to mention fireworks. That's the first time they've had it up there that I can recall. I will be in touch with him tomorrow and say.
Wouldn't that have appeared on the special events permit that Northern applied for?
Right,
That
yeah,
concert?
Dave Miller knew about it. He was okay with it. They had an official. What is it? Licensed person set them off. Everything's legal on it. It's just they didn't notify people. No,
Not good show PR line.
no. I mean, he's trying, but he didn't do well there. So you're gonna get a little bit of that out there. Just FYI.
Do we need to amend something in our law for fireworks that says people will get notification within such and such distance?
That'll be interesting to write up, you know, how far is the radius, do you notify? It could be done, there's no question, we could probably check with some other towns, Patty, and I mean, I can check to see if they have anything like that.
Okay.
Doesn't mean we don't do it if I can't find anything, I mean,
Right.
I think that's a good idea, I really do.
Well, I think that they wouldn't have had any problem with it. I think they just know it was coming. It was beautiful because the concert ended early and it was 10 minutes of quiet. And I don't, you know, I can start watching all of a sudden, like, holy cripes, the Battle of the Bulge occurred. And usually I could imagine if you had a dog or a cat or something like me, you would be scrambling. And it was a great start too.
And that concert was very, very well done.
Concert.
Other than not letting people be honored, veterans, etc. Had a color guard, and pledge of the flag, etc. It was very, very well done as far as I was concerned.
And
Close to 9/11. Maybe that's the connection.
I'm sure that a couple with veterans and first responders is associated with the first responders with 9/11, I'm sure. I'm sure that had something to do
The
with it.
sound levels and everything for the concert were gorgeous. I mean, it was,
So we're
we're
getting some progress, okay?
just a surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Anybody have anything else for this evening?
I do have a question for Emily. So the buy board, without that, we still have, there's like state contracts to piggyback off of, correct?
You can piggyback on any municipal contract as long as it's publicly let, so that it's open for and available for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Do we need to go into executive session later on for any reason? Okay, good. Well, let's go to the meeting. I'm probably not gonna carry you, Pat.
Okay. Don't drop me.